spiritual discernment versus natural discernment. Now, I'm not saying that natural discernment is bad. God gave you a brain. He gave you eyes and ears and all that sort of thing, okay? Nothing wrong with that. But sometimes what you're needing, that gift, that word, that whisper from God about something, that's when you're needing that gift of discernment. It's not about just intellect or something. For example, I grew up in the great satanic panic of the 80s. I know there was one guy, he was this big ex-devil worshiper, and he had all this stuff, and Satan's everywhere. And come to find out, he was a total fraud. But anyway, I heard all the stuff about Halloween, how it's actually this pagan tradition, and blah, 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 blah. And it's, boy, if you look at a plastic pumpkin wrong, a demon's going to jump in you. Heard all of that stuff growing up, read the pamphlets, saw the videos, heard the sermons, all of it. And so, but something never quite set right with me about that. It didn't seem like, I was like, something's off here, but I don't know what it is, because obviously if you look at it, looks bad, right? All this devilish stuff going on clearly looks bad. And so I went to research it, not from what pastors said and not from what, just some guy said, but actual historians that looked at the actual evidence. And guess what? It's a church holiday. Now, I don't want to get into that argument here. If you want to check out what this bishop said, he basically said the same thing that I said in my video the other day. I found that this morning. Okay? It's a church holiday. The roots of it, the origin is good. It's been given over to Satan. And so I'm saying take it back. But again, that's not the point of this. The point is that's spiritual discernment. Looked bad to the natural discernment, but God whispers something and says, hey, it doesn't have a bad origin. We need to take that back. Let me give you another example. Let's look at chiropractors. Now, at one time, I thought about being a chiropractor. I was always interested in it for a long time, really, but I never went to one, strangely enough. Something just kept me back from it, and I couldn't put my finger on it. I was like, what's wrong with this? Christians love chiropractors. Chiropractor comes to your church, they're gonna make him an elder probably. All right, there's chiropractors that say they're Christians, and people go to them. So what could be wrong? Well, I looked into it because something wasn't sitting right. I couldn't understand what was wrong. Guess what? The chiropractor, the guy that founded modern chiropractic here in America, claims he got it from a ghost at seances. That's where he got his info from. In other words, a demon. It's got a demonic origin. Now, he made no secret about this. I went to that. If you want to go look at the video, this is from a website. I showed the actual book where he said this, and that didn't seem to convince people. So I'm like, hey, maybe if you read it on a website, you'll be convinced. But the point is, spiritual discernment, it's needed when something is different from what you can observe with your natural senses. That's the meaning of the gift of discernment. People have tried to turn it into where it's just an intellectual knowledge. Like, oh, well, intellect is fine. Like, hey, the Lord led me to use my intellect to look into these things. All right. Now, I know that's not popular, and if you disagree, please don't waste the space commenting. I'm just saying that is what spiritual discernment, the gift of discernment, is all about. Hope that helps. God bless you. Okay, if you've made it this far, you're still on here, you must be a real one. So another reason that you're going to need spiritual discernment is because in the last days, in the end times, there's going to be a lot of deception. It's going to look right to your eyes. It's going to sound right. People are going to say the right things. They're going to look like they're doing the right things. But you're going to need that discernment so you won't be fooled. It says that in the end times it would fool even the elect if that was possible. But it's not possible, okay? So you need to listen to that inner voice and be able to recognize when somebody's saying the right thing, when they're maybe doing the right thing or looks like they're doing the right thing, to know that, hey, something's off here. The Lord will warn you, and you're going to have that in the end times to function. And don't let that scare you. That's why the end times are held off until the church comes to that certain maturity to be able to go through that. God bless you.